All right, so in this video, we're going to be creating our current run view controller. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to add a new view controller. I'm going to select CocoaTouch class, and we are going to name this current run view controller. Okay, and I'm going to create it. Okay, I'm going to remove all the commented code. Now, this is going to be a bit long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this video into two parts. First part is going to be where we're going to create all the UI elements, and then after that we're going to basically set the constraints and basically set the timer and everything, because this view is also going to contain our custom slider, so gonna need some of the controls for that. Okay, so I'm gonna once again inherit from base view controller in order to take advantage of our gradient background, um, and I'm gonna create a mark for UI element. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you the why I actually create these marks. So now this view is a good size. So let me show you how the sections make difference. So for example, right now I'm in UI element. I can jump directly to local variables to see what all local variables I have, and I can directly jump into the extension part to see what all I have in the extension. So it sort of helps you sort of divide your code if you're if you have a lot of code in your file. Okay, so we're going to create a private static let title font size CG float. Okay, so this is going to be the title font size, and there's going to be one for a subtitle. So we're going to use these inside our view controller. So I'm just going to create two variables for that. Okay, and then we're going to have our top label. Once again, we're gonna set this to false. Now, if you don't know this, why we are setting this false, if we don't do it, what is gonna happen is UIKit is going to try to constrain this according to the auto resizing mask, and your view is not gonna look basically or constrain basically to the way you want it to. So in order to work with programmatic auto layout, you will you always have to make sure your control anything that is actually coming down from UI view. So if you go look at the hierarchy UI view, this is what UI label comes down from, and if you have a UI view, let's see if we can drill down into a UI view or something. Okay, gradient view. Okay, so anything that's actually under responder chain, for UI responder, all of them have to have this auto resizing mask into constraint set to be set as false before you can start using the auto layout based constraints. Okay, so hopefully that is clear why we are doing that. We're gonna set our text, and this time we're gonna change it to running. Text alignment, I'm gonna set it to center, and font is gonna be font dot width size, and I'm gonna take self with capital S, dot title font size. Now, difference between capital S and small s self is basically capital S self refers to the type. The small s refers to the instance. Now, the difference between instance and type is type is your basically your class, no instance variable that is created, right? No object is directly referring to your type. So anything that you're creating static belongs to your type, and anything that you just create, for example, in this case, current, if you want to basically call this view did load for current view controller, the only way you can do that is by creating a an object for this. So current view controller, if I create an object, this is how I'm creating an object. I'm gonna simply call vc dot view did load, right? So this is this view did load is part of the instance, and the instance that we have created is this object right here. Okay, but if I want to access this title font size, then all I have to do is say current run view controller dot title font. It's private, that's why it's not finding it, but yeah, let me change it. So there you go. So as you can see, like, you know, there's no instance that's being created, so it's actually part of the type itself. So anything that actually you want to share, you can have that defined as private static, and that's another way basically to create your objects if you want to have a shared object. And this is a common thing to do, creating static in case of singleton design pattern. Okay. All right, so let's see, we do want to define the text color as well. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be dark gray, and I guess so we have the text, we have the alignment, font, color. Okay, so I think we're good. All right, next is gonna be a time label. So let me go ahead and pull up the app one more time, and this is these are the labels that we are actually talking about. So this is the time label that we're gonna create, and then we're gonna create this average pace label. We're gonna create a distance label, and this control that actually is gonna be used to yeah, essentially like dismiss. Okay, now as you notice, there's a bug. So in this branch there was a bug which we will fix like in future, and I'll show you, like, you know, how we can actually fix that. But anyways, it's actually working fine now. And also you see this this thing right here. We are not gonna create this because like, you know, earlier I thought, like, you know, we'll actually have a button to center our map, but later on I dropped that idea because, like, you know, we are following the user, so we don't need to center. The user is always going to be in the center of the map, so it's always going to follow, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, once again, we are going to be creating these three guys. So okay, we go to the home screen, and we are going to be first creating our time label. So private lazy var time label. All right, so let's return this view, translate to false. All right, and we need the text color. So text color is going to be white. We need font. So we're gonna take UI font dot bold or system font, and we're gonna once again use self dot subtitle font size. Okay, v dot text is going to be hour, minute, and second. Okay, so that is our time label. All right, next is going to be the pace title label. Okay, so where we're gonna have the pace listed. Average pace font is going to be v dot font dot width size self dot subtitle. So this one is not gonna be bold. Okay, and then we're gonna have our pace label. So this was the title. Next one is the actual label where we're gonna list the pace, the current pace. Okay, and we're gonna once again have these three things. So I'm gonna just copy this, and so we're gonna have text color as white. The text, we're gonna give it 0, 0, 0. Okay, and for the font, we're gonna have UI font dot bold system font self dot title font size. Okay, that's gonna be for the pace, and then we're gonna have a subtitle for pace, which is gonna show like per mile. So I'm gonna take this guy and I'm gonna say pace subtitle label. Okay, and once again it's gonna be white, and this is gonna be per mile, and the font is gonna be subtitle font size. All right. Next, we're gonna create a stack view. So this stack view is how we're gonna keep all these pace related views together. So like that, UI stack view. And UI stack view, we're gonna actually create an array of arranged views. We already know what those are gonna be. So we're gonna say title label is one, pace label is another one, and pace subtitle label is the third one. V dot translate is equal to false for this one too. Return v. Alignment is gonna be center. Axis is gonna be vertical, and distribution is going to be equal spacing. Okay, so that is our base stack view. All right, so we're gonna need similar for the distance. Okay, so for the distance, it's gonna be very similar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy paste, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about it. So we're gonna have distance label, which is gonna have distance. We're gonna have distance title label, then distance label, like how much distance you have you ran so far, and then subtitle for the miles, however many miles, and then the stack view that's actually gonna contain all these three values together. Okay, and then we're gonna have basically our page stack view. Now page stack view is the stack view that's gonna contain basically all three: the time label that we have created, the pace stack view that we have created, and the distance stack view that we have created. So all three of them are gonna go inside another stack view. So private lazy var page stack view, UI stack view. Okay, and UI stack view, basically the arrange views. Arrange views are going to be title label, sorry, time label. Then you're going to have your pace stack view and distance stack view. Okay, we're going to return this view and we're going to set its translation to be false, so we can create our own constraints. And then we're going to have our alignment, which is going to be center. Axis is going to be vertical. Distribution is going to be equal centering. And we're going to also create a background color for this. So we're going to define a background color, which is going to be UI color dot black dot with alpha component, and we're gonna say it's gonna be 0.2. So it's like slightly tinted sort of a color. Okay, now next we're gonna create three views. This is gonna be basically for that slider control. So first one is gonna be a capsule view. Okay, and this is gonna be a UI view. And this is gonna have a background color of UI color dot black dot with opacity or with alpha component of 0.5, so slightly darker than the background. And we're gonna have layer dot corner radius to be 35 and v dot layer dot masks to bounce to be true. Okay, so we're gonna make it like look like a capsule, and we forgot to put var in there, so there we go. All right, next one is gonna be the knob, the slider knob. Okay, so we're gonna call this stop slider knob, the one that you're gonna slide, and this is gonna be UI image view. Okay, and we're gonna create our UI image view. We're gonna return that view. Okay, now we're gonna make sure that this is user interaction is enabled for this one, because we are going to be interacting with this guy. And then for the image, we're gonna say it's gonna be UI image system name, and we're gonna use dot arrow triangle dot up dot right dot down dot left dot circle. Okay, and this is once again coming from SF symbol. We're gonna have a white color for the tint color, and we're gonna have layer properties. So I'm gonna copy the layer because we're gonna need that. Border color is going to be UI color dot white dot CG color. Border width is going to be 5. Corner radius is going to be 25. Masks to bounce is gonna be true. Okay, all right, so that is our slider knob. and then we're gonna have another image view for slider stop. Okay, so this slider stop, what this is gonna do is we're gonna do some computation, and whenever our knob reaches the slider stop center or it crosses that, that's when we would know that we have to stop running and return to the main home screen. Okay, so basically end run and dismiss the view controller, current run view controller. Okay, so we're gonna say translate is equal to false. Image is UI image, system name, and we're gonna have stop dot circle dot fill. Tint color is gonna be white. Dot border color is going to be UI color dot clear dot width alpha component 0.5 dot CG color. Border width is going to be 5. Border radius, corner radius is going to be 35. Mass to bounce is going to be true. All right, so let's go ahead and build. Everything should build, although we are not going to be able to launch this current view controller yet because we haven't created everything that we need. So I guess in the next video we're gonna create our local variable, the life cycles of the helper functions, to make this view functional. Okay.